The second phase that we're going to talk about, and you touched on it briefly, is the listening tour. We love listening tours. I think that is where we can really hone in on what is working, what's not, but the nuances, the innuendos, and really have respect for what people have done before us and gain the insight that is important and the intelligence gathering there as well, which really helps us determine are we on or off strategy. So you've obviously talked about the listening tour. What does that look like in practice?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it looks like really just meeting a variety of relevant stakeholders. And that can be anybody from on the senior level to folks that are the people that are actually doing, all the intricacy works, whether it's the multimedia team or it's the content team, or marketers within other areas. I think it's really looking at meeting all these variety of stakeholders and then asking them to really be transparent around what it is that they want to share. Because I think sometimes people are a little bit more cautious about what they're sharing to someone new. But I think the more transparency that people can be to that new person actually, I think, is the most beneficial. I think getting feedback around existing, speakers, existing marketers, being able to take that information overall and then kind of putting it into a strategy, I think is the best way to go about it. It's really important for people to try to be as transparent as possible. It's
I
not
agree.
always so easy, but I think that is super helpful to anybody coming into a new role.
Yeah. I think it's interesting to take a look at the very non-obvious folks as well, such as office managers,
Yeah.
admin assistants, uh, those support roles, because they know more about what's happening in the office than most people ever do. And I think there's a lot to gain, and let alone establishing rapport with them, I think is the way to build a great cultural fit as well.
Yeah, 100%. Because believe it or not, those admins or, you know, building services people,
Yeah.
things like that, those are the people that are like so key in being able to get things done and where to direct you. I know the big thing for me in my roles is, especially as marketers, is like also looking at the partnership between sales, product, customer success,
Right.
app developers, account managers, the digital teams, and clients. It's truly marketers have to have those partnerships in order to be able to really understand the business and what it is that they're marketing.
Yeah.
I think you need those partners because they give you insights and then they give you a lot of support. And I do feel like that partnership between sales and marketing is very much entwined.
Yeah. I
So
agree.
those are things that you should definitely continue to listen to those folks.
How do you filter signal, like something that's really important here, from just noise?
I think it's just, well, sometimes it's just your own intuition, on things. I think it's taking, when you're doing all this due diligence, it's really looking at everything that you have there and kind of pulling out what you think's the most relevant. And usually, obviously, as someone who's new in a role, you have fresh eyes. So you can see things sometimes that others don't. So I think it's just when you're gathering all that information, um, look at what's the most valuable and then obviously use your own expertise in those situations. Like what have you done in other roles that
Right.
will add to what we're trying to do here. And I think also like keeping it to a smaller group of people. Sometimes when you're getting to that strategy, sometimes too many people can make it very overwhelming and more confusing. So I think it's really looking at who do you want to be those key folks and their opinions within that.
Yeah. The ones that, I think in our roles that are strategic thinkers as well, um, and versus, the execution piece of it. I think that really helps too, because all too often, we're really trying to get our hands around what the strategy is, the strategies.